So you're going to the Grateful Dead concert? No. Yeah, you are. Like, no, I'm not going to the Grateful Dead concert. Yeah, you are. Now, at 19 years old, 18, 19 years old, I had decided to go clear across the country to Nantucket, Massachusetts, and I had lived there for 3 months. Followed a girl. That's a completely another story. But on the way, when I was coming home, I decided I was going to, because a plane ticket was a lot of money, so I decided I was going to visit my friend in Chicago, and so I was going to take a bus ride at 19 years old, and I'm from a little podunk town that takes you an hour to go to McDonald's. I'm going to take it from Providence, Rhode Island, all the way to Chicago. Bus ride. Yeah. Now, at the time, okay, and Mom, just plug your ears because you remember this time. But I had black hair, dyed black hair. My head was shaved up to here. That's when I had hair. I had Doc Marten boots that came up to here, almost to my thighs. It was Nirvana, so flannel shirt and a flannel shirt tied around my waist. Had my trench coat that I bought at DI. That was my pride and joy. It was floor-length green, army green trench coat. And loved that thing. And so many pockets. And that's what I looked like. Okay? So when he's looking me up and down, and I walk into this station, this is in the Cleveland bus station. Now the Cleveland bus station, imagine Cleveland, Ohio. Imagine a bus station in Cleveland, Ohio. That's exactly what it looked like, but worse. And so he looks me up and down. He says, well, do you have any cigarettes? I'm like, no, I don't have any cigarettes. Yeah, you do. I'm like, no, I don't have any cigarettes. And he's looking me up and down. Not like he's attracted to me, but just like he's trying to judge me. And he's looking me up and down. And he's looking me eye. Yeah, you do. I'm like, no, I don't smoke. I don't have any cigarettes. And then he walks away from me, goes and grabs his buddy. Now, this other guy, had a bedraggled beard, kind of had this army jacket on. And then his friend he pulls over, is a little bit shorter than him, yellowing teeth, hair like Einstein. And he looks at me, and he's like, well, do you have any dope? Now, again, Grace, Idaho, I'm like, I look at him, I'm not sure what he's asking for. I'm like, I don't think so. Yeah, you do. And he just looks me up and down. I'm like, no, I don't have any dope. And the guy looks at me, you can tell, and says, okay, marijuana. Do you have any marijuana? And I say, no, I don't. I've never touched this stuff. Yeah, you have. And they do that, and it's weird, and I find a way to get away from them because my connection from my bus is coming, and there's this too. And so they're going off, I don't know what town they were going to, but I'm going off to Chicago. And I go to get on the bus, and I'm looking at them, and they're still looking at me up and down, and looking at each other and like, and they even look at me like, like, yeah, we know you had something, and you're holding out on us. Now, as I get onto the bus, again, 19 years old, I thought I could conquer the world, but I was fairly naive. But the thing that stuck to me is, well, if you've ever seen Ted Lasso, there's a quote where he says, be curious, not judgmental. And that quote, I don't know if it comes from Ted Lasso, or if it's another quote, but that quote has really stuck to me. And so as I get on the bus, I'm thinking to myself, they never once asked me a question. If they had asked me a question, they would know I was from a little town of Grace, Idaho. 1,296 people at the time. Now it's 912 because we all moved away. But also they wouldn't know if they'd asked me a question, they would know that I've never smoked. The reason I never smoked is my dad smoked. And he had a hard time quitting. And so that stuck with me. So I never touched this stuff because I didn't want to have the struggle that he'd had with that. They never asked what I was about. They just looked me up and down and thought they knew who I was by looking up and down. Now, I'm more than half the man that I used to be at that time. Literally, I used to weigh 130 pounds. So, but the person I was then is, a lot of that is the same person I am now. I'm older, hopefully wiser, but I've learned quite a few things. So, what was on the outside doesn't necessarily define what's inside, and it really shouldn't. So that's what I'd like to leave you with is, as you see people around, walking around, be curious, not judgmental.